Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be introducing you to my 1953 GMC pickup truck. It's a 1-ton pickup with a 9-foot dumping bed that's powered by the OEM hydraulic pump. So picked this up back in 2020 and been tinkering on it a little bit. It does run. This isn't one of those, it's been sitting in a barn for the past 30 years and we're going to see if it still runs. No, this is a running, driving, operating vehicle. I need to, get around to doing the electrical, get the lights reinstalled and tail lights and so on. But I have dubbed this project Linebacker because of A, its color and its year. When you put it together, it's a blue 53. Sounds an awful lot like a football call. So, Linebacker it is. And let's get around to the tour. So we'll start with the walk around here. It's in pretty decent shape for a 53. Some of these you'll find like everything's rotten out, but this one seems to be in decent shape. What makes this one a little bit special is the fact that it's actually a properly badged GMC, and instead of a Chevy. You can find Chevrolet 50s pickup trucks almost everywhere, but what I'm finding as I'm being educated by personal research and the friends I have, that GMCs were the commercial and industrial vehicle. Like if mom and pop farmer wanted a pickup truck, they bought a Chevrolet, but if you owned a company, you went with GMC. So this is a 9-foot bed, which also adds to the uniqueness of it. When I bought the truck, it didn't actually have a seat, so this is the backrest, and the actual part you park your butt on, right there, that came out of a 1952 Chevy. So I've already broken the first rule of, classic hot rod and vehicle ownership is your first seat's supposed to be a milk crate, and I've already just thrown that right out the window. So the interior isn't all that bad, actually. Yeah, there's some things that need to be done. The windshield needs to be replaced, the headliner, there you go. It needs to be replaced, and I need to treat the rust up in there. It's not too bad. It's still pretty thick, so that's just surface scale. Surprisingly enough, let's just climb in here. All of the gauges work. So the generator, this is still a 6-volt system, so it does have a generator, but your battery gauge works. Oil pressure actually works. This does actually build up a decent amount of pressure for a 50s era 235. Temperature gauge works, and the fuel gauge works. I haven't really taken this thing out for a spin per se, so I'm not sure how well the speedometer works. But yeah, it's a stick shift, so that's going to be fun to learn how to drive proficiently. And if I'm correct in my guess, and considering how the shift pattern is, this actually has a truck style 5-speed transmission, with first gear being all the way over. That's just popped into reverse. But if you go all the way over and up, if you can find it, it's a bit tricky to find, you'll actually find what's known as it's technically it's first gear, but colloquially the little in-joke is it's called granny gear. So, and I have a full set of original GMC hubcaps. So they're a little rough for wear, but they should polish up, and I might need to replace one, just looking at that right there. So just in the process of replacing the rubber hosing here for the filler neck, because turns out that's still the original. There it is. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. The original GM rubber. So I would not be surprised if this actually dates back to when the truck was assembled. Which means this hunk of rubber, that's about as stiff as a 2x4, is also as old as the vehicle. So one of the main projects I will have to do is install an oil filter. This truck doesn't actually have one, so I had to go online and pick up the canister for the oil filter. Now this one still has, now this one has never been installed, so it still has the original AC the original AC filter in it, painted all nice. I'll put that on the shelf. But here's the kicker: you go into Lordco, tell them you have an inline 6, a 235 from 1953, and this right here, this is the oil filter they gave you. It's brand new, off the shelf. Picked this up in 2020. So yeah, you can still get oil filters for the canister style filtration system. So bonus. So I'll be doing an oil change probably this weekend. Again, it doesn't have the filter installed. There is, somehow it has been deleted from the engine. Don't know how they did it, but they did it. And there you go. And this right here lets you know that this is in fact a 1-ton. So you see like 3100s and all that. They're quarter tons, they're half tons. This is a legitimate 1-ton pickup, despite the fact that, as you can see, it doesn't have dualies. It's running on singles. As for the rims, seeing how we're pointing at them, these are not the Widowmakers. This is the next step up. This is a locking rim. So it's technically 2 pieces. You've got the main part of the rim, which is this section here, and then you have this outer part of the rim that is the outer bead. And in here, yeah, where is it? Ah, you can see the gap just barely there. That piece of steel is the locking band. It's like a little lock ring. So it's almost like a forklift tire or a wheel. So I can actually get these rims serviced at a tire shop today. So let's have a look at the engine bay. Nice little bit of chrome. Oh, come on. Play nice. There we go. Up we get. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is a 235 straight 6. Unfortunately, this is not a matching numbers engine. I really wish, if this was matching numbers, that the block matched the head, because that's actually a late model. I think it's still in the 50s, but it's a late 50s design head, which is a much needed improvement over the original 235 heads. So it's pretty sparse in here. Like, you can't quite hold a jacuzzi party in here, but you know, you definitely got some space under the hood. I've already gone ahead and replaced the rad cap, because the original cap that was here was completely, let me get this open, was completely missing the spring and everything, so it was literally just a cap, which altogether isn't all that good if you're trying to warm up the engine in the winter. I came up here, you know, there was like about that much snow all over the vehicle, and put the battery in it and fired right up. A little sticky because, you know, it's cold and you got to pull the choke, but I didn't have any problems running the 6-volt system in the dead of winter. So yeah, you know, everyone, you hear all kinds of stories, you know, oh, get it over to 12 volt, you'll have much better starting in the dead of winter. It's like, this is Canada. We had, you know, pretty chilly winter up where up at the farm here. So yeah, I'm probably going to keep this a 6-volt system for a good while yet. I may eventually swap it over to a 12 volt, but I'm not sure. So, give this a close. Ooh, that's stiff. Where's WD-40 when you need it? So, get that in a moment. But yeah, I have all the parts for the headlights, so that's all there. I don't have to go hunting for that. The gentleman who sold me this truck has replacement parts, and I have brand new marker lights to go in here. I just have to get my hands on a manual and figure out how to hook them back up again. I'm not sure what to do about the holes in the fenders. I've seen different styles of marker lights up here, and I'm really not a fan of the those lollipop. It looks like the flat sucker style marker lights, and they always look so gaudy to me. So I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm not sure if I can actually save these fenders, because right in here, being told that, you know, getting creases and so on the fenders right here is pretty common for these trucks. So I'll have to see if when I take this into a body shop, if this fender is if I can save this fender, or if I gotta worry about replacing it altogether. And on that note, this truck will be going into the body shop, and it will be getting a fresh coat of paint. I am not a fan of the patina look. It's just not my style. So this will be getting a sanding, fresh primer, fresh paint, and a clear coat. I'm pretty sure that's gonna get so much flack from all the other patina people online, but my truck, not a fan of the patina. She's getting shiny paint. Oh, hush doggo. So yeah, I got to source out a tailgate. I know RPM out of Lethbridge, they make reproduction tailgates. So I can get one from them, or I can try and source out an original one. What was nice enough of the gentleman who sold me this truck, he had another 50s short box, and the engine in that one was destroyed. Something inside the crankcase shot out sideways so hard it actually ripped the starter off the engine. And so he pulled that engine, and he asked if I wanted the spare transmission. So under that, spare transmission. One thing I have noticed with this truck is the clutch. She's kind of twitchy. It's like the clutch works and everything, and you know, it's you know, that's all the way out, and like right there you can start feeling it, and it's got some resistance. You know, it's not exactly an easy push, but it's not like I'm trying to shove a 2-ton brick with my foot. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to source out a replacement marker, my turn signal indicator. I'm pretty sure this unit works. It's just the arm has busted off. So, kind of a pain. And if anyone's wondering, down there, that is the master cylinder. That's for the brakes. One thing I'm considering doing is seeing if I can find a more up-to-date master cylinder from like the 70s or the 80s, get it out of a 1-ton or something similar, and using that one to replace the single cylinder down there, because that's just one giant, it's not giant, but you know, it's one reservoir of fluid, and then the line comes out, so it's one line, and then it tees off and to go to the front brakes and the back brakes, and then it tees off again to do left, passenger side, right side, passenger side, driver side, front, and then again to the back, tees off for driver side, passenger side. I did source out online a place that sells conversion kits, so I can take off the drum brakes and put disc brakes all around, and that way I can upgrade the brakes from the 50s drum brakes to a current generation of disc brakes. This little light, believe it or not, actually works. Kind of surprising. But yeah, just for the sake of safety and so on, I'm not going to be sticking with the drum brakes. Just, again, it's for the sake of safety. I know there's probably some people out there that'll just say, oh, you should keep the drum brakes. It keeps it into... For the sake of safety and the fact that I want to actually drive this vehicle on a semi-regular basis during the summer while the weather is good, I want the disc brakes. It's just, it's a better system. It's a lot newer, so I should be able to still get parts for years to come. And it's just sort of a peace of mind, safety concern. So that's what I'm going to do with the brakes. And it's about more or less all I can say for now. I do actually have the interior framing for the door panel here, and I have all the arms and so on. But yeah, it's just a metal frame that I'm going to source out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a wood panel here, or if I'm going to do like some hardboard and then get some like pleather or something, just because I've seen like vinyl and imitation leather for this to cover this up, and it does look good. I'm not sure what I'll do about that. I haven't gotten that far into the rebuild yet. So this is for the PTO, so I can run the hydraulics. That's for the lights. And there's your choke. Believe it or not, the windshield wipers, they actually do work. Not very well because they don't have wipers on them, so it's just the arms over the old glass. But yes, you turn the wipers on, and they do function. That's the choke. I believe this is... That's not the ignition, that's down there. This is the manual throttle. So when you put the truck in neutral and you set the parking brake, you can then, instead of having to sit there with the gas pedal when you're trying to work the hydraulics, you can actually, I believe that you can pull this knob and set the RPM for the engine, and then this knob right here operates the hydraulic dump bed. So all the way in, lowers the bed, you pull it out, and it starts raising the bed. The further you pull this knob out, the quicker the bed raises. And it doesn't have a radio. Shucks darn. That's actually the factory delete paneling. So I'm probably going to try and find some way of putting in a sound system, just because I like my music when I drive. And I'll see if I can still, like, if I can still use this delete panel and have it as like a pop-up panel or something, so I can hide the modern stereo system like behind all this. So when I'm like at a car show or somewhere, I don't have this ugly looking modern stereo just sticking out there glaring in the deck while everything else looks period. Because everything, I'm not going to change this gauge out. I'm probably going to change this one out just because the needle is broken. Like, I'll hang on to this, put it on a shelf somewhere. But for the sake of being able to tell how fast I'm driving without having to guess, I'm going to swap this particular gauge out. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, almost forgot. If you're wondering why I have red electrical tape, that is going to show up in a later video when I give you guys a rough idea as to what the paint scheme is going to look like for this truck once I get to the body shop. So, that's all I got for now. Take care and catch you later.